What up? Welcome back to the Necro Zoo. I am Bones, and in this one, I'm finally gonna get me some of that sweet Last Night on Earth Bane Collect to Build Wave figure action. Of course, this is one of the latest release from the McFarlane DC Multiverse. I'm gonna go ahead and kick it off with the Mohawk Wonder Woman. As I go into the other figures, and then in the end, I will be finally putting together that collect to build Bane. So, taking a look at this figure in the package, she looks pretty good. I have heard a lot of other different things from other reviews online. But now it's time for me to take my own look at her and assess what I think about it. Now, let's get into this. Of course, as always, you do get your standard black DC Multiverse stand. Pretty useful. Then you also get the Datafall card. Pretty cool representation of Wonder Woman in The Last Night on Earth. On the back, you do have some information. Pretty sweet. She does come with one accessory, that is her sword. Looks okay. Pretty cool sculpting on the guard and the hilt. The blade also has some detail on it. It's just a little bit on the flimsy side. I'm not sure if this is a safety issue for McFarlane, but if you're really hard up, you could always score another sword online and then just switch them out. We'll see what happens. I mean, for me, mostly they're just display figures, so it's not a big deal. Unless I really want to customize, then I'll put money into it, but if not, this is fine. She also comes with the two arms for the Bane figure. One of them, the right arm, has the pretty cool Venom cartridges on his arm. The other one's just the regular arm. Now, one thing for sure, I'm going to tell you right now, these pegs are hard as hell. Like, I already tried to put like strength into it, and this peg will just not move. So before I even get to the point of putting together the figure, I am going to dip these in water and break up the rigor mortis. Now, you won't learn that in a textbook, but that's my plan when I finally do get to put this together. Alright, so let's take a look at her. Now, I have learned some things about her from the actual comic book, and then there's a couple of other things I want to talk about. But at first glance, she looks really awesome. I mean, I love getting these like variant versions of characters. It just makes it fun collecting this multiverse line, because you get characters you never thought you would have picked up. So the head sculpt looks really nice. Now, they did add like stubble to the side of her mohawk, and in the comic she's actually like pretty much clean shaven. So what ended up happening is that I'll probably end up customizing one and then having one just on the shelf and then one for my unopened collection. So if I do end up customizing this, I might end up like smoothing out the stubble and removing the paint to give her more of a comic accurate look. Now, the head sculpt is really nice. I have no complaints about that. She can look really down. Not too much back, but of course I could fix that with the Dremel. But the main thing about the head was that in the comic book, she's like scarred on the side of her face. And what's weird is that on my figure, on this side, you could see the shading that they put, but it's pretty smooth. But on this side, you could see the shading, and then it has a bunch of like, kind of like scratch marks or like lines. Like they made an attempt to do the scarring, but it was like a real weak attempt. But what you could do is, of course, add some like little additions of plastic to give it like a bumpy texture, and then add some paint. So I'm probably gonna end up customizing this one, and I'm gonna try and give her like some scarring. So that'll be pretty fun. Now, moving down, she has the cloak around her shoulders, and then she has her upper Wonder Woman uniform. Pretty good. You know what I really like about this figure is the lower abdomen sculpt. It it looks like a really like a fit girl Wonder Woman. Really nice. You could see like shadowing around the abs and in all the right places. So that looks really nice. Now going to her arms, she does have the butterfly joint on the shoulder, some cool bands around her bicep, and then she does have double jointed elbows. And then coming back out, she does have the McFarlane ball joint, but it is hidden a little bit by her gauntlet, and also it's small, so you can't. It's not so prominent that you see it real easily, but she still does have wrist articulation with that, so that's pretty nice. Like I said, that her gauntlets look really nice. That they're a really nice silver paint, and they do have some cool like texturing, like armor texturing, which looks really rugged. So happy with the arms. Moving down to her belt now. This is one negative that I do have. That it's like, I mean, if you really look at it, this part right above the W on her lower part, like on her skirt, you could tell that it's supposed to match her skin from the ab part, and they painted it, but the paint's like really doesn't really match. I mean, it's not a big deal, but in the end, you could tell the way they had to paint it to make it match. It works for me. It's just a nitpick, but you could tell the difference right away. But trust me, I've forgiven worse from McFarlane. So you come down to her belt. Now she does have a cool dagger on one side, some like a star on the sides, like on her hips, and then she does have her sheath for her sword, which has some crazy texturing. It looks kind of like rhinoceros skin or something like that. It looks pretty good and looks battle ready to use, so that's always helpful. Now, going down to the legs, and here's another thing that I said on the last figure review, is that they're getting really good with the thigh swivel, and her thighs move really a lot, like out and then in, so you're getting a lot better thigh swivel. She does have double jointed knees, some pretty cool knee pads, and let's get into something that a lot of people complained about, which was that when you look at her knees, the lower peg is flesh colored, and I'm not sure, because I did look up a picture and you could see that it's supposed to be red, so I don't know if this was in the process that this happened, but I don't really usually do this, but right away it kind of like got on my, like I had to scratch the itch, so I went ahead and painted it, so it wasn't like just red. I had to actually mix to get like this dirtier red color, but as you can see now, it just looks pretty cool. You can't tell the difference that the pins that in there, but it is what it is. I mean, to me, I just want to make it look cool, so it's not a big deal. It didn't take about 5 minutes, so just to like satisfy my own self. So I'm happy with that. Now going down to her boots, she kind of has the same style of boots as the other Wonder Woman release, and the ball articulation up and down, and then toe articulation. Now she has some pretty cool boots with some cool texturing, so let's see if I could add a little bit of painting to highlight the butt, like the studs and stuff that are on the boots. Looking at her from the bottom, she does not have any tread, which is fine for Wonder Woman. Moving up. Now, here's something I really, really liked was that when I took out this, when I took her out from the package, at first, when I saw it, I thought that this cloak was like mesh. It looked like mesh fabric. But no, it's just the texture that they put in there. You could actually hear it. And the texturing they did on her cloak, like going up, it's just like really nice. The damage on the bottom with the holes, it just great sculpt work. Probably the best part of this figure. Like I said, up here on the top where her hood is supposed to be, looks pretty good. Now, one thing is that when McFarlane had first shown us this figure, the prototype, he did show the Dr. Fate helmet on like next to her, but I was surprised when we got her and we didn't get that helmet. But now it's been released that they will release her with the Dr. Fate helmet. They even have pictures now. So there's another figure I'm going to be buying, but at least now I know that figure. I'm pretty much only going to buy two, one to have unopened and then one for the shelf. I'm pretty sure, not positive, but I'm pretty sure that's how it's going to be. So all in all, really cool figure as a unique Wonder Woman figure to have on your shelf. I mean, she'll fit right up there with all the other characters. I'm happy with her. Let's take a look at the height, because of course the other Wonder Womans were really tall, and as long as the artist is going for like an Amazonian look, then I figure it's fine. Let's put her right here next to the original Superman 1000 release, and she is a smidgen. I think her mohawk gives her the win in height against Superman. But like I said before, if she's an Amazonian, she's supposed to be pretty tall, so that's not a big deal. In fact, that's how it's supposed to be in the comics and stuff. So not a big deal. It is what it is. And then of course, when you want to, you can go ahead and put her sword into her sheath. It slides in pretty good. That's another problem with the sheath, is that of course, once again, it's like hollow. It's only three-sided. On one side it's hollow, you could see it. That could easily be fixed with some putty or even like a strip of thin fodder that you have around. I might end up doing that when I finally customize her completely with the scarring. In the comic, that's another thing, is that she had black gloves throughout the comic, throughout the storyline. So I don't know why they gave her flesh hands, but I might end up fixing that as well, at least for this figure. And then add some detail where I can. The handle for her knife should be brown, and then, like I said, fill in the gap for her sheath, and we'll go from there. But all in all, really happy with her. Pretty cool figure to add to the shelf. Can't wait to get on to the next figure and get those pieces of Bane, so I'll be able to finally put them together. But anyways, guys, that's it for now. Stay hunting out there, stay safe, and I will see you on the next one.